ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to AussieVerse Comics and Collectors. I am OmniBeau, joined by Mark, Grodd, Watson, with special guest Sayantan. How are you, boys?
Awesome.
Hello.
Hello.
If you are liking our content and you do like what we bring to the table, and even if you don't, why don't you just give this video a like anyway and subscribe and tell your neighbours so that we can get to that 400 subscriber giveaway where one lucky viewer will win a $100 Amazon gift card. You can also find us on Instagram at AussieVerse_comics_collectors, and all of the graphic designing, thumbnails and editing is done by A51 Designs. All righty, where do we begin? How about we chat to the special guest, Mark?
Yeah, I reckon we do, Simon.
Cool.
Tell us a bit about yourself, Mark. What do you do? Like, what gets you into this industry? What is your passion? What is your books you read? And anything comic book related. Tell us about yourself.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Bo, for inviting me. Yeah, so I'm Sayantan. If you can call me in short form, Sayan. I'm quite a newbie into the comics hobby, so I think 2017-ish when I started. Started with obviously my favorite Spider-Man and Superman from DC. So I used to read a lot of those Silver Age Spidey back when I was a kid, and then the Superman stuff. Then I started exploring that. I remember that 80th anniversary of Superman came out, and I was like, okay, that was the segue to come back into collected editions.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had my few of those singles or floppies, whatever you're gonna call it. Very few of them. I think about like 20-ish each from Spidey, and for Superman. And then yeah, then it kind of started discovering places like where can you get them, etc. And yeah, and it's become like crazy. I think now how many Omnis I have? I think I don't know, more than 50-ish, definitely. So I've been going gung ho during the COVID phase, reading a lot, etc. So kind of slowed down a little bit. I have gone a little bit of hybrid now. Like, so it used to be fully physical. Like now doing a lot of those the newer issues or trade paperbacks from especially Marvel Unlimited. So not jumping straight too much to read. I think if you say how much I've read, 32%. I think I was doing a count like of my collection. Still, I think it's pretty good. Like coming pretty soon with that 50 Omnis. What's my favorites now? So Spidey always, like I've been telling Bo, like Spider-Man is the jam basically. And yeah, so I kind of found lost love with back on Batman. So I used to read Batman, but not an avid follower. But like gone crazy into Batman now. I think got all the post-crisis era Batman, so caught up with the Detective Comics and the Dark Knight side of the trade paperbacks, which start coming up, which are pretty awesome. Have been kind of doing a little bit of silver and modern, so that keep both the across and try to fill in the gaps, like from the modern as well as the silver. So I think that is a good strategy. Indie sometimes, like started collecting a lot of indies, but then I think quite behind in that. Like started with the Brubaker side of stuff. Yeah, and quite a lot to fill in. I got a very mini haul. So thought of quickly showing it to you guys. So I used to buy a lot from DCBS back in days. So I think they were not great in honoring pre-orders. So I had like 7 or 8 books missed due to whatever reasons, like delays, etc. and things. So switched to local, supporting local shops, which have been great. I think Tong or Tong, I don't know how you pronounce his name, from Comic Book Crew has been amazing. Yeah. And More Than Meeples and a couple of local places, I think, happy to support, and they've been great. So yeah, not much chatter. So quickly, the haul in there is the Thor. This is the DM variant, Matte Fraction.
It's a great
Then
cover.
next one is the Thunderbolts 2. Sorry for the glare. Read the Thunderbolts 1, amazing stuff. Like, oh, this is so good. So can't wait to rip it out. These came in today. And then those were the 2 Marvel Omnis. And then the next one is the indie books. So there's the Firepower.
I've been hearing good
Sorry.
things about that.
I read the free comic book day firepower, and it was like
Mm.
amazing. And I was like, okay, I have to get this when this comes out. And then finally, I don't know, heard a lot of good stuff. Sorry, again, oops. This is the Dark Arc
Oh,
by
yeah.
Cullen Bunn. Like,
I don't know that one.
No.
yeah, even I have to try it out. Like, so I
Is that-
heard.
Is that a wider format?
Oh yeah, this is the same as the Omnis. I think the similar
is it?
size. Yeah, same size as the Omni. So that's from Aftershock Comics. So recommended by our Omar, I think Omar the Great, and
Yes.
I've been reading a lot of Cullen Bunn stuff, so it's pretty good. Yeah, like horror-y stuff.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Really?
that's kind of the tiny haul, and at the back, I got the X-Men collection on the top. So
Is that just X-Men?
just the top part, yeah. The first two shelves are the X-Men, and then from here, I think got the Cosmic Saga in there. So Annihilation, Conquest, and the bottom half is all mixed bag, like all DC and all. So I'm struggling to find places like space, and I started double stacking. This is not a KLAX. This is the what is this? I forgot the name. Sorry, Billy. Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
Billy one, and then got a KLAX down here. Um, with my the Daily Bugle on the top, which I love. Like it's amazing. And I started stacking dual ones just to find space in there. And I'll send pictures in the group. Like I got another KLAX of Omni, so it's a bit of nuts. Yeah.
Cool.
So I met Sayantan when I first got addicted to omnibuses, which was about 2 years ago now, like year and a half maybe. And I met him through a mutual friend, and I was after the Green Lantern by Jeff Johns trilogy, and our mutual friend Christian had turned around and said, "Oh, I know somebody that's actually got all the Green Lanterns," and I was so keen to get them because I didn't want to buy one and then track down the other two. And you know what it's like when you meet somebody on Facebook, they say, "Oh, I'll pay for those books in a couple of weeks," and you haven't done business with them before. You're like, "I'll take your word for it," but you know, I think Cyan kind of he was really polite, but he gave me that sort of like, yeah, whatever you say, sure.
Yeah.
And then I paid for them when I said I would. And after that, man, the amount of books that I've bought off this gentleman, I think half of my omnibuses have come from you, dude.
Yeah, I think due to DCBS. So I used to pre-order them from DCBS. Then they will falter on the dates of release. So they started even shipping after the market and the Amazon gets the books. I don't know what's going on in this space. So they used to be really good. Like they'll ship out before the actual publication date when it comes in the shops. Now they're way behind. I think they're shipping 1.5 month delays. So I generally ended up like with that FOMO, like, am I going to miss out? And end up buying another copy of it, especially in the COVID phase, and because things were like running out like crazy. And then they're like, okay, I got an extra copy. Do you want both?
Yeah, okay. So that's what I was going to ask at some stage. Like, why is it that you sell so much? Is it because of space, or is it because you have no need for it and you read it and just didn't? You're never going to go back to it, or is there any
Yeah, so it's
certain
a
reasons?
kind of
Or
all of them. Yeah. So
yeah,
read it, liked it, but already too many backlog to read, and like I think I'll never revisit them. That's why I keep asking Bo, like, you're buying omnibuses, even your grandchildren might not be able to finish it, like the amount of collection you have. Like, what do you do? Look, and one is that collector's instinct, right? So that's what I was running. Like, let me collect, and then like, even though I don't read it, looks nice on the shelves, then it's like I'm running out of space. I can't keep
yeah,
collecting it. So it's like, okay, read it, and okay, if I want to read it again, keep it or start selling it off. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I tell you what. Oh, sorry, mate.
Go, man. Go, yeah.
I was going to say, I tell you what, we're currently packing up to move house, if you can't tell by my background, and it is a nightmare. It is a nightmare. The only thing that's a nightmare about it is my comic room, because I need so many freaking boxes, and I'm panicking like over the last week, because any day now we're going to get approved to replace. We're going to have 28 days to get the hell out of here, and I need to pack that freaking room up, man. And it's just, you know.
There's always buyer's regret when you have to move.
Yeah.
You'll go, why have I got so much shit?
That's Spidey. I know, man. I'm not a DC guy either. There is some DC that I do read, though, that is I will always stand by. And Jeff Johns' Green Lantern is just the absolute bomb. It is
Oh, it's
killer.
amazing.
Yeah. But you've got a bit of an eclectic collection as well, Sion, because I've seen you sell some things, man, that
Yes.
I've been very surprised that you've got, you know.
Anything you can remember, like the indie ones, you're saying?
Yeah. Indie one, you got the EC collection.
Oh yes, so the EC one, I got it from one of our friend in the group. Then he was missing the last or two last slipcases to finish the entire EC collection. Went eBay International, I think paid more than 1,000 just to grab the last two slipcases. I think the one was the Vault of Horror, the other one was the Haunt of Fear. And they go for nuts, and they're like, started reading them, and again the same thing, like I think went through a lot of the horror stuff, kind of a horror fan, and now there are the war stories. Some of them are great, like, yeah, but then I was like, should I read this or should I continue going back to my silver and modern thingy with a little bit of Indian middle? And they're like, oh, I don't think so, I can finish this. And the space thing, right? I'm struggling with space. I don't know where to, even in my bedrooms, instead of the side tables, remove them. Now I got two billies, mini billies to act as a side table and stuff, putting omnis in there. And my partner is like shouting, what is going on?
I haven't started stalking him on eBay, and every now and then Sion would put a book up on eBay, and I'd message him and I'm like, hey dude, I'll take that, but like in a couple of weeks, if you don't mind, can you delete that ad? And he'll delete that ad and he'll send it to me, and yeah, man, it's been a good relationship. So I have a little haul actually from this weirdo, Donovan, who I have to say, I don't know how many of you guys out there are members of the Aussie Omnibus Collectors Facebook group, but that's where a lot of us have met. And I'm just going to look up exactly what he's called it, because I don't want to say the wrong name here. But Donovan has set up the Multiversal Melee, where he's asked members to submit choices of characters from all across the multiverse, and they can be any sort of character that you can think of, and they will battle out week to week or day to day. I don't know how he's going to do it out, but it looks absolutely amazing. He's even done this poster where it's got the round robin sort of mixes, and the characters that we've got, a couple of them are the ones that I suggested as well. We've got Luther Strode versus Madman. We've got Lobster Johnson versus Fabian Gray. I don't know any of those two. Raphael the Turtle versus Snake Eyes. Hulkbuster Iron Man versus the Iron Giant, which is a great one. Vampirella versus Vampire Batman. Captain Universe versus Superboy Prime. That's a good one.
Nice.
Photon versus the Engineer. And we'll find out who is going to reign supreme. So if you're not a member of Aussie Omnibus Collectors, go join that Facebook group and vote, because it's going to be fun and it's going to be great. Thank you very much, Donovan, for setting that up. And speaking of Donovan, I have this from him today, and I thought, I've never opened a package live. Let's do it, and I hope I don't cut myself live on screen as well. I remember a couple of what these things are, but Donovan takes so long to send things out that I forget, because it's all his fault. It's not that I take ages to pay or anything. So let's take a look. All right. So the first one that I got off him, I had read the entire series because I finally got the whole collection. But I then realised after reading them that I was missing one book. which is always the way, right? And that was Wolverine Origins. And I'm going to chuck myself up and big here. So I knew I was missing Origins 2. So I'm looking forward to reading that. So that's one to add to the collection. I want to turn on the pixelation. I say it. Are you Bengali?
Yes, I'm a Bengali from Calcutta.
There you go.
Where does that story come in? That Wolverine 2? I think I have that one as well. But
Oh,
where
I can't remember. I remember back in the day when they sort of came out, but I can't remember exactly when. All right, so we have 5 books. I got She-Hulk by Sol because I'm pretty sure I've got nearly all She-Hulk runs in omnibus format, but this one hasn't made an omnibus. I don't even know how many issues it went for, so I thought I'll give it a go. He had it at like a cheap price, $10 maybe.
Yeah.
As he does. This one I was really happy with. So I mentioned this to you the other day, Mark, that the only Punisher run that I'm missing is the second half of Rosenberg's run where they renumbered it number 1 again.
Oh, yeah.
And I got number 1. I've now ordered number 3, and Donovan had number 2.
Oh, nice.
So, yep. So now I've got all the Punisher. This one I got because I've seen it a lot for sale, and it's never interested me. It's one of those DC things that I just stay away from. But in the few DC books that I've read, they do reference this quite a lot. And I went, you know what, screw it. Again, it was about $10 probably, so I decided to get it. And that was the OMAC project.
Oh, yeah.
Which is Batman creates satellites.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes.
Game of Thrones, hardcover, volume 1. I wouldn't mind getting all of these, to be honest, because I'm a big fan of Game of Thrones, and it's a hardcover, so, you know, why not?
I didn't know there were graphic novels for them.
Yeah, there are. I've read like the first couple of issues before, and I can imagine it goes for a long time because to put an episode in a comic book, it's like probably 5 comics for one episode.
Correct.
So, you know. And the last but not least, I was missing volume 6 of this Green Lantern run.
Oh, yeah.
And I got that too. So
Yeah.
thank you very much, Donovan.
Very good.
Oh, nice.
Mm.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you for buying.
Yeah.
So that was one of the extra copies. Yeah.
Can't go wrong with some Punisher. Bloody oath.
Yeah.
We need Punisher Omnis. I think there's less
Yeah.
love there. Maybe is Punisher showing up in the Armor Wars or whatever the next movie or TV series?
We haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah.
But that'd be amazing if he does, because I love the actor, John Burke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I missed this comment. I regret buying nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, seeing as we've shown off some stuff, Mark, I know you haven't got stuff to show off, but what have you read recently?
I've read a lot actually recently. I didn't have a chance to get me pile, but I'm trying to remember. So I had read the Kelly Thompson, Jessica Jones lately. That was really good. So that's the first volume of that. There's 2 of them. That was really good. What else did I read? So I read Superman, Son of Kal-El, that recent issue. I read. I collected a couple of the new Punisher ones. I think I was up to issue 3, so I read them all in one hit.
Oh, nice.
It's not a bad start to Jason Aaron's run. What else? I've just gone back to Rebirth, and I've decided to start Suicide Squad. Rob Williams, I think he's the writer is. He does a pretty long run. So that's been off to a good start. Some Hellblazer Rebirth series when Tim Seeley took over. Not too bad. So I've got one more volume of that. I read that. What else was there?
You know what I've read recently, and I've absolutely pile drived through. You lent me all the Red Hood and the Outlaws from Rebirth, and I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah. So
the Bizarro, the whole Bizarro story.
Yeah, I really like that. The Bizarro, he's like a little child, isn't he? And it's adorable.
Yeah.
It's, like there's a few heartfelt moments between him and Jason. So yeah, I enjoyed the start of that series. Doesn't really have the best end. Heads up, though.
I'm nearly there. I think I've got 2 trades left out of all of them.
2 trades, right? So yeah, the last trade's pretty good actually. So that's all right.
Fair enough.
Is it the new 52 one at the Red Hood and the Outlaws? Is that the Omni?
Yeah, originally it was, and I've read that, but I hadn't read after it, which is Rebirth, and then it becomes Red Hood Outlaw. And Mark lent me all of those. It's so good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's still by Scott Lobdell, whatever his name is. But he written the new 52 version. But it wasn't too bad, but it run its course. But it was still good.
Does he have his own ongoing after that?
No, the only thing he's in now is Task Force Z.
Oh, is he?
Which is where he runs a group of dead villains. So there's on the fire. Hey? He's
the leader, is he?
He's the leader. So it's basically a Red Hood book without saying it is. But yeah, he's the #1 character, and he's leading a group of, like, there's Bane, there's Man-Bat, there's Deadshot. These are all characters that have been dead and have been zombified up enough to be functional. But instead of reducing their sentence, because they're dead, it's you get your life back. They've got enough residue to give them, it's a Lazarus pit sort of injection. So they have enough of that to maybe get your life back. So they've got a bit of incentive, these zombies, to do good. And Red Hood's leading the team. It's a weird idea. And another boss behind it all is Two-Face, who's running the show. So,
wow.
Jason Todd must be too happy about that.
Well, he's trying to reform himself, Two-Face. So he's trying to do good.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. Fair enough.
It's interesting. It's not for everybody. I've heard a few podcasts that think it's lame, but I'm enjoying it. I think it's a cool idea, but you've got to keep an open mind about it.
Yep.
If you're after like a really intelligent read, this is not for you. But if you're after just some fun, it's a good read.
Fair enough. Well, should we get on to some comic book news then?
Yep.
Have you got any, Mark? Because I've got a few things. Not much.
I'll go because I know you'll have pretty much the similar ones to me. So I'll start off with the Moon Knight one. Oscar Isaac has come out and said that the Marvel so far have had no plans for season 2, and he's very disappointed about it, and he wants to. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good sign that he wants to.
Yeah. So they've asked him about it, and he's been openly a bit disappointed about it because he thought they've set up a good thing, and there's no plans, not even movies or nothing. He's heard nothing back from them.
That's really weird, isn't it?
A little bit.
You'd think they would have had plans for him in a movie, like joining something.
Not true. Maybe it's secret, right? Like it was always meant for a mini series, isn't it? Like I didn't think it was meant for a couple of series. I think it was a short and sweet one. They did well, but I was hoping those characters end up in, I don't know, whatever the new thing is, not new Avengers, but
yeah, so like a slowly sort of get you through movies, like they did with Hulk. Like throughout the movies, like he's in 2 or 3 movies, but they're not his own, but he's a character in it, and sort of progress his character. That'd be kind of cool for Moon Knight, but well, they definitely left it open, so it's kind of weird that apparently he's heard nothing about it. So I don't know. What do you think, Bo?
Well, I've always been under the assumption that all of these series, apart from, let's say, Loki, Hawkeye, all of them are purposely made to introduce the characters into the MCU.
Correct.
And they'll eventually be in the movies so that they don't have to make just standalone movies and for Disney Plus to get subscribers. So I wouldn't be surprised if they said no to a Moon Knight season 2, but I'm very surprised that there's been no plans to put him in a movie somewhere. That's really strange to me.
Yeah, because every single movie's been set up now for, well, they've been either made or they're in production right now for the next year and a half. And if he hasn't heard anything, that means we're not going to see him for 2 years, if anything.
Not even the Halloween special that's coming out. You know, you'd think at least then Moon Knight would be in it, because Werewolf by Night's going to be in it.
Yeah, well, just like Cyan was saying before, it could be just, you know, he sent himself on the wrong path. He could actually pop up. And
Yep.
you know, they say these sorts of things, like everybody denied all this, like Tobey Maguire, and that they all denied they weren't going to be in Spider-Man. They were in it. We all knew it.
What did you think of Moon Knight, Simon?
Isn't Daredevil coming up? Isn't there a Daredevil chance of coming into this MCU and with buying the Netflix rights and stuff? And there's a lot of Daredevil Moon Knight-y thing, not the Shadowland. I know people hate it, but I kind of enjoyed Shadowland. But yeah, even I love Shadowland.
Yeah.
Hopefully they bring some of that, right, and then start bridging those characters in and form an awesome team. I think hopefully let's fingers crossed. Let's see.
Yeah.
It's
That's
Kevin Feige, right? He just drops things. We need to wait for the new Comic Con. Isn't it coming up, like the San Diego one? Or
yeah.
Which is a good segue into a bit of news, that I hadn't even thought about talking about. But yes, apparently at this Comic Con in July, which it is now, we are going to be getting a good old-fashioned Marvel panel like they haven't done for a couple of years, where they announce all the plans for Phase 4 and 5, or at least we get a big, spiel about it. It's been so long since we've had that.
Yeah. What do you think's going to come? Is it going to be Secret Wars, or anyone got any predictions?
They all seem, every news outlet seems to act like Secret Wars is definitely happening. But don't get me wrong, I would love it if it is. But I don't know where they're getting their information from. Everybody, every YouTube channel, every article, oh yeah, Secret Wars is coming. They're building towards Secret Wars. How does anybody know this? Like, okay, you've got your common sense and you can maybe hope and assume, but I don't know. They're always saying it so definitively.
Yeah. Well, I think there's going to be some direction. I think because isn't there a Nick Fury announcement of a Secret Wars TV show, so it's going to lead up to it.
Yeah.
So
that's the invasion.
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. Yep.
Yeah. So maybe that's going to lead up to it or something like that. I heard a good theory that it's going to be Secret Wars. That's going to blow over or whatever, and everyone gets back together. And then it's going to be Avengers versus X-Men. That'd be a pretty cool one. Because you've got to eventually introduce them, but you've got to do it slowly, I guess, now. And when you do, let's make them like the Avengers are going to be like, hey, what are you doing? And, I don't know.
Sorry.
This is the Higvengers Secret War or the Bendis one? Because the Bendis one was, I don't know.
No, if you're going to do any, I think it'll be the Hickman.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's funny because a little part of me, the child in me, I guess, kind of really wants the original Secret Wars with the Beyonders, and they transform the hero,
That would be good. Yeah.
But I think Hickman's is a lot more plausible to do on the screen.
A bit better,
Yeah. But in saying that as well, I shared a link with you today, Mark, that I've only seen from this one source, so I was too afraid to share it publicly because I don't like to share things because I've been burnt before with fake news. And it was Andrew Garfield has signed up with Marvel to do more future movies, which, again, points to Secret Wars. And I don't know if that's legit because when you only read it from one source, you're like, You'd think YouTube people would have been like, "Oh, Andrew Garfield signed on," and other people. So yeah, I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's so many variables that can go into that because Sony owns rights to it to Spider-Man, don't they? So Marvel doesn't 100% have the say in it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how it goes behind closed doors, but yeah.
I don't think that matters anymore, to be honest. Now that Spider-Man movies are on Disney Plus,
True.
you know,
Are
yeah,
Okay.
they put them on a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So and Venom.
Yeah.
Is Venom there now in Disney Plus?
Yeah, Venom's there. But for some reason, Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, is on Amazon.
Well, that's all after the money's been made. See, that's the thing too. Like if Marvel sign him, Sony are going to want that cut. They're not going to let. So there's going to be a lot of different things that go into that. There's going to be, I don't know.
All right, well, on to the next one. Have you guys been watching Umbrella Academy, the new season?
Yep.
No.
How far into it are you, Simon?
Finished it.
Oh, you finished it? Okay. Mark, you haven't?
Nah, I haven't watched it, no.
Okay. I've seen one episode of the new season, and I love Umbrella Academy. It is so good. But I brought it up because I've read an article that fans are rejecting season 3, saying it's crap. So, well, I'm asking you. You're the one that's seen it all.
I loved it. Yeah, loved it. It's a big departure from comics, right? So we all know that, and that's the good thing. So I'm not going and expecting, yep, it's the same as the comics. There was Hotel Oblivion, which is the latest volume, isn't it, in the comics? So there is some references and synergy, but again, they did their own thing, and it's pretty awesome. I loved it. So the if you wanna. The ending is kind of a bit of mind fuck, even though, sorry, pardon my French there. But it is pretty good if you understand what was, I think, setting the next season 4, if hopefully there is one. I think that's a good segue. It's kind of a cliffhanger-ish, but anyways, I won't spoil it. But I loved it. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Well, the writer has said that he only ever planned for 4. So it's highly likely the 4th season's the last one. He says if Netflix pay him and want him to make more, he certainly will. But he's always had a vision for at least 4 seasons. So it's very possible next season's it. Yeah.
Everyone has
Did the comics? Oh, sorry. No, did the comics finish up, or are there more? I think we got 3 collected editions, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't read them.
Is it written by the lead singer of My Chemical Romance?
I know he's written a few things, but I don't know about that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought he created Umbrella Academy when he was on tour.
Oh, right. Possibly.
I might have to fact check it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Umbrella Academy is written by.
There's Gabriel Ba, the artist.
Why?
And I like his
work. Gerard Way.
Gerard Way, yep.
Yeah. That's not him, is it?
Don't know.
We all don't know. Okay. All right. Mark, have you got anything else to say? And if you've got any news, comic news, feel free.
Oh, you go and say. I don't know if you got something.
No news. Sorry.
The rumor about Jason Segel as the Thing in She-Hulk.
Yes, that is interesting.
Interesting. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I like him. I think he's a very funny actor, and he's even good at serious. I saw him in a movie recently where he broke into a rich guy's house that he bought their company, and he was out of a job, and he broke into the guy's house to get revenge on him. And it's a bit of a dark film. So he surprised me with his variety of acting, his versatility. So I'm not saying he couldn't do it. You know, you do see castings where you think, no, that's not going to be any good, and then you're very, very surprised. But I just don't see it. You know. What about you guys?
Yeah, no comments.
No comment? Well, I think, yeah, like my initial thoughts is like, oh, I don't know, because it seems like they would go down the comedy route if that's the way they're going to go, and that sort of, opens up the door for a bit cheesy, I guess to say, but we have seen Siegel in good roles. He is a professional. He does kind of have that bit of rage down, like the Thing could have. It's like I still remember. What's it called? Jesus, it was. It's the one where they were at college. He was one of his first gigs. Dead Man on Campus. Anyone seen that?
Yeah.
He was the angry sort of gothic guy in that. So yeah, it was pretty funny. But and also too, if this John Krasinski is rumors are true that he's going to be Reed Richards,
Nice.
I think him and Jason Segel together, as it's like a best friends, him and Ben, Reed Richards and Ben Grimm, that's a pretty good combination of, they're about the same age. They've got about the same sort of chemistry and skill set to be, you can believe they're buddies. So when you think about it, that sort of thing, that gets me a little bit more hope, and I think it'll work. But yeah, again, we'll never know until we actually see. But all I can say is he's a professional. I've always liked Jason Segel. I reckon he's a pretty big guy too, so that's something as well. So yeah.
One of the reasons why I can't see it is because there's not many characters, but there's a few characters that have a certain like literal voice that not anybody can do. Like, for example, J. Jonah Jameson. You need somebody that can be that J. Jonah Jameson voice to be J. Jonah Jameson, right? And I think with Ben Grimm, he has to be this accent, this American, I don't know what you call it, Bronx or whatever. But, I don't know how Siegel could do that. Maybe he can.
Clobbering time. I don't know whether it'll suit this.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's clobbering time. Like yeah.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be from the Bronx, New York area, so he's got that New Yorker accent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Well, what's funny as well is that I did see a recent interview with I've gone blank, the guy that played Captain America, right? Chris
Evans.
And they asked him if he'd come back as Captain America, and he gave the normal answer, which is, I'd never say no, but I'd only do it if it was really the right thing, because I don't want to ruin what we've done, which is fine. But then they said to him, would you ever come back as the Human Torch? And he said, you know what? I would come back more willingly as the Human Torch than Captain America, because the Human Torch, when he played him, was before the MCU had found their footing, and he doesn't believe the Human Torch really got his moment in the sun, pardon the pun. So if he could come back to end his sort of saga, he'd be up for it, which, again, points to more Secret Wars, because if you have these variants like Andrew Garfield and Chris Evans, and, so who knows what the future brings.
The options are there. I don't see them. What's that?
Then you could get Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine too.
Yeah. That would be cool. That's all what we're wishing, but whether it's going to come true or not, it's a big.
I would love to see Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine, and the new casting of Wolverine, where he's a lot more comic book accurate. He's like short and hairy, and he talks like Logan, and you have those two like stand off. Yeah, that would be great. The way he looks, the way he should look.
Yeah. Well, that Tyrone Edgerton has had a meeting with Marvel that he wants to play Wolverine.
Yeah.
So he's the one that plays
Kingsman.
Elton John.
Yeah.
And Kingsman. So I think that's a pretty good casting, because he is reasonably short, but you put a bit of hair on him as well, and he's got that sort
his
of
accent is very British, isn't it? So he might have to put up some Canadian
Canadian accent. Yeah.
All you got to do is be American and say a boot.
Let me tell you what is a boot again.
Well, my bit of news that I want to talk about is Dan Slott and my favourite artist, Bagley, coming back to Spider-Man. Well, they are coming back to Spider-Man, but not over the main title. They are bringing back the adjectiveless Spider-Man title. And I'm quite excited for that. So you would have read all of Dan Slott's Spider-Man, I'm guessing?
No, waiting for the Omnis to come
Oh,
out. So
really?
I've finished Superior Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and the newer run, yes. So I'm quite excited for that. I think you posted in the group that
Yeah.
they're coming back for the not the main line, but yeah. So
Well, Superior Spider-Man was the best part of it.
oh, it's amazing. Yep.
Yeah.
And I love the people waiting for those hardcovers, or now the Omni is coming and announced. That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Mark, have you read any of that era of Spider-Man?
No.
You've got to read. You know what Superior Spider-Man is?
What's that?
Do you know what Superior Spider-Man is?
No.
So in one of the ends of the issues, you have in a couple of issues, you have Dr. Octopus dying in a hospital, and you have this storyline where Spider-Man's fighting all this stuff to get to Dr. Octopus in the hospital at the end. And you don't realize it as you're reading the issue, but the whole time it's actually Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man's body.
Oh, I did hear that one. I didn't know that was Superior Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah, and Peter Parker is in Dr. Octopus's body dying in the hospital. And you don't realize until the very end of the issue.
Right.
And then they cancelled Amazing Spider-Man and they renamed it Superior Spider-Man. And it's Dr. Octopus being Spider-Man and making Spider-Man superior with his weaponry, with his way he fights crime. He gets Peter to get what, a doctorate? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And he gets his own company, and he makes Spider-Man's life so much better. But he's an arrogant prick.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. We miss the goofiness of Spider-Man and stuff like so. He's like a serious guy, and yeah.
And
but it's awesome.
And the crowd went nuts when that happened. The stupid, pardon me, comic book marks all typing in their letters to Marvel. How dare you kill Peter Parker? It was just amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So yeah, I think it's going to be very good because apparently he's going to be taking over after the latest incarnation of Edge of Spider-Verse, which is going to end the Spider-Verse somehow. Yeah. And Mark Bagley. I grew up on Mark Bagley drawing Spider-Man. Yeah, that's going to be great. All right. What else have you got, guys?
I just looked up that you said Gerald Way, that Umbrella Academy.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the lead singer of Chemical Romance.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice.
Opens up early years. So yeah, he wrote it.
Wonder what he thinks about the show.
Well, I think I thought in the first season I saw him as a producer. So yeah, I just slipped. I forgot his name. So I don't know.
So, have you read Paper Girls?
No, but
Neither have
excited.
I.
I saw the series coming up, right? That's in Amazon, isn't it?
I don't know where it's streaming. Actually, yes, you're right. Amazon, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
quite excited.
That looks all right, doesn't it? Have you seen the trailer for that, Mark?
No, I haven't.
Go Google that. It looks good. It's the next comic book show coming.
Is it anime or?
No, live action.
No?
It's a live action, yeah.
Okay, cool.
All I know about it is that these girls, I think from the 80s, get transported into the future, which is 2019, and they're fighting some kind of time war or something. I'm not sure, but it's a pretty popular. Yeah.
Yeah. I got. Well, I guess we should talk about it. I'm sure everybody's binged it over the weekend. Is everybody caught up on Stranger Things?
Yep.
What do you think? Tell me your opinions. With a spoiler free, because people might not have seen it, but
After you, Shane.
I think this was the best season. That was my feeling. Yeah, love the acting. So they went pretty grand scale. I feel like production was top notch. Acting, even the storytelling, I think they've gone way ahead than the other season. Excited for the next one, which is the last one, right? Like I think that's the finishing up. Yep. So I think yeah, no spoilers you mentioned, but I think that hopefully people have watched the previous, like the June drops. But the villain is very plausible, like previous ones where yeah, it's a good Demogorgon or those demo dogs, but they were like never feeling a mark. But the current one is like based on a human, right? So it has a bit more empathy and things.
Yeah.
So I think yeah, the villain is set right. I think they are in the right. Generally, if you see any shows in the season 4-ish or 3-ish, they kind of die down. They kind of go back the curve. Like you'll be like, okay, they're falling apart. I think these guys are climbing, and that's pretty good. Like that's awesome. Like so, yeah, very very happy. Looking forward for the next one. I'm not sure when that's out. Is it generally every year or every 2 years? The
I
next
think,
season. I mean.
yeah, about a year and a half, maybe. I think, yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully it's not that long.
No. Well, I read that the first season came out in 2016, so it's been a lot. I think it was 3 years in between, or 2 years at least in between season 3 and 4.
They did say that actually, but I could have sworn I saw season 3 last year.
You still could have. I mean, like it's not like it just could have been out.
So, what did you think of it, Mark?
I loved it. One of the best viewing of shows that I've seen for quite a few years. I thought, honestly, I thought Cyan was right. The character building was amazing. Like the writing was good, and you're right. The villain, it is a little bit different this time, and they've written it not quite sympathetic, but understandable. And it's made it a bit more realer, and they're really going for the horror aspect, which is kind of what I like. I mean, like it's not full blown horror, but it is horror-ish. I mean, like they're going for that vibe, and it's good to see that that's been so successful because that's kind of died down over the last decade, the horror thing.
Yes.
And they've brought it back a way that everybody enjoys it. Like people aren't realizing they're watching horror, but they're scared. They're scared, like everyone. But yeah, so that's what I really love, and just even talking about it gives me a bit of goosebumps of excitement. So yeah, I was stoked watching these last 2 episodes. They did not feel like as long as they did.
2.5 hours was the last one.
I know. Yeah. So I'm excited to see where it goes and stuff like that. What do you think, Bo?
Well, before I give my opinion, let's have a word from our sponsor.
This show is sponsored by the Comx shop. Check out comx.cx for all things Comx and find out what Comx is all about. Then head over to comx.shop to pick up a variety of Australian comics from multiple creators and publishers, all for one flat postage rate. We hope you enjoy the show.
That's right. You want to buy one comic, you want to buy 10 comics. It doesn't matter how many you buy because it is one flat postage rate. You want to support Aussie comics, Aussie creators, Aussie artists. Go check out Comx, Australia's comics best friend. That's what I call them anyway. We said no spoilers, did we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better. I don't know. Should we or not? I don't know.
No, I won't.
No spoilers.
Let's just say I showed some emotions at the end of this, which I was very surprised with. My favourite, you know how there's always like a new character or two every season?
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Yes.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
on this one.
My favourite character, man, was Eddie. Like,
Same.
I loved him.
Yeah,
Oh,
me
he was
too.
amazing. Yep.
Absolutely loved him. Where so much so that when the show ended, I went on YouTube and looked him up.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys done that by any chance, or Googled him or anything?
I know he's very British. And he's, like, he's
yeah.
30 years old. Yeah, and he's got blonde hair, yeah.
No, short hair, I mean. Like,
Oh, yeah.
different, you know? Man, I loved that character. He was so good. But yes, I thought this was a great freaking show, man. Like, I always really, really enjoyed Stranger Things, but this season made me love Stranger Things so much so that I've been tossing up whether to get the library edition book that I've
You should.
seen. Yeah. Have you got it?
There are 2 of them, I think.
Oh, is there?
I think there are 2. Yes, I'm not sure any more coming out, but I haven't read it. But yeah, you should
Yeah,
get
I'm
it.
thinking about getting it.
How much did you love the Master of the Puppets?
Oh my god!
Oh, amazing!
Oh my god!
That
Talk
was
about
amazing.
goosebumps! Wow!
Yeah. Oh,
Is
that
there
was-
a
done so
better
well.
moment in TV than that?
yeah,
Eddie got the light.
Yeah. that was so good,
Yeah.
and like even just the redemption of some of them, you know, where again without spoiling it, some characters made a decision early on in the show in the series, and then they made a different decision later on, and you're like, as a viewer, you're like, yeah, you did, man, you know, it's, oh yeah, brilliant.
One thing I will point out that I've been saying this to me guys at work, people, my friends, is the most underrated character. We all love Eddie. Eddie was amazing. But the guy that I put as best on ground, which is a sports term, who I thought was the best in the series, is Murray. I think he doesn't get enough love. Murray's the guy that goes to Russia with them.
Oh,
Yeah, he's amazing as well. Yeah,
Yeah, because
from
he
the
had
last season.
no
Yeah.
emotional attachment. He just did it. He
Yeah.
just went. Oh, let's go to a Russian prison and break in. He's just going, all right, does it, and he's so handy. Like they wouldn't have got anywhere near what they got without him. Like
Yep.
he was the underrated key because he was the guy that could speak Russian. And as I said, like there's a few times he sort of disputed, going, "Oh, should we do this?" But he still did it.
yeah.
Like, and he still kicked ass.
Flamethrower.
Yeah. That was another amazing moment. Even
Oh,
the time where he's like talked about he's had a few karate lessons with kids, and he ends up whooping that dude's ass. I mean, like, yeah, I thought Murray was very underestimated. I thought I'm just going, man, what is he even doing there? He had, as I said, he shouldn't have even been there in the first place. He just did it just purely because he wanted to help.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a very good call because I never liked that actor, and it's because of the roles I've seen him in before.
Mm-hmm.
He's played roles before where you're not meant to like him.
Yeah.
And he's such a good actor, I don't like him.
Yeah.
But in this, it's very hard not to. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I hope they have future plans for him. So, yeah.
Well, did you guys see some people crying outrage at, you know, the Miles Morales What If series that they've been doing? It's I haven't read any
The
of
Thor one, where he's depicting Thor. Is
That's right.
What's the cry about? Like why people are upset? Is it?
Well, a lot of people have cracked it because they said that Miles is the creators have represented Miles being Thor in a very stereotypical African-American light. So for those that don't know, it's a 5-issue miniseries, I believe, and in every issue, Miles is, what if Miles was Wolverine? What if Miles was Thor? What if this, what if that? And in the issue where he's Thor, for example, Mjolnir, the hammer, is graffitied all over it, the way he's dressed, and people have really cracked it. And even it's gone so much that even the writers had to apologise and say, "I'm really sorry. You know, I didn't mean anything negative by it." And yeah, it's caused a lot of issues for some people apparently. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah. I can see that, like, in a lot of lights of comic books, movies, TV series, there is stereotypism out there, and to be honest, it can be an issue. And I can see that. Like, I can see where people, like, we can't tell people what to think or how they view some things. It's different if you've got a personal attachment to it. You can take it one way or the other. You can go, well, that's just the comic book writer. That's just Hollywood. But I do understand. I'm not going to be mad at people being mad about the stereotype
I'm
that
mad
going
at
in there because they do exist. So yeah, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think,
Oh,
Simon?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think similar opinion, right? Like, so not too much fuss about, but then if it's derogating someone's culture and stereotyping things which can hurt people, yeah, I think they have the right to say it loud, right? Like, but then don't go overboard, like threatening writers and saying, "Hey, I'll kill you" and all those things. I think I don't
Yeah,
support
exactly right.
those. Yeah,
Don't take it
yeah,
too
yeah,
far. I mean, like
yeah.
everyone's allowed to be offended by it if, as you said, they're offending their culture, their way of living. Because even stereotype, like Hollywood has stereotyped Australia. Apparently, we all live in like dirt roads, kangaroos in our backyards, and stuff like that. Like that doesn't offend us. But if that was,
Australia doesn't exist, mate. Have you heard those ones? We're all actors.
yeah. Well, if you're from my hometown, we do live on dirt roads and stuff like that.
All right. We got anything else before we call it a day?
The
No,
Boys.
that's it.
Have you guys been watching The Boys? And
Yeah.
The Boys. Oh, God. Yeah, saying The Boys. How could we forget that? I actually thought it was the last episode the other day. I didn't realize it was the second last episode. And I
Yeah.
thought,
I
that was a weird ending.
yeah,
Yeah, it's been so good. It has been good. So we've been blessed with two really good series going at the moment. So
Yeah.
yeah.
really good.
So what's coming in this last half of this year? Are there any good shows? I know She-Hulk is coming
She-Hulk.
out.
Yep.
Echo?
Yeah, I thought Echo was December, is it? So it could be. Yeah.
Pretty sure Echo's this year, which is a show that I didn't care about at all, but now I do because I'm pretty sure it's going to be Daredevil and Kingpin.
Yeah,
In
if
that?
it's got
So it's a
Kingpin,
continuation from where the what is it
Hawkeye.
called? Hawkeye finished? Is it like
Yeah.
continuing from there? Oh, nice.
So apparently, the rumor is that Daredevil or Matt Murdock anyway is going to be in She-Hulk. Lawyers. But then he's going to be a lot more in Echo, and same with Kingpin.
Yeah, and the guy that played Bullseye is supposed to be in Echo.
Oh, right.
That's really, really cool. And then I heard I forget her name, but Jessica Jones is supposed to be in She-Hulk.
That's right.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is exciting. Like, I'm really excited for this She-Hulk, that's for sure. And we'll see where everything else goes. But we got Thor coming out this week as well. So
Yes.
that's
Super excited for that.
Mm.
We also have Cobra Kai, I think in September it was. New season of that. I love that show.
Yes.
I've watched the first half of the first season, so.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I can't think of any other new shows that are coming. The new Game of Thrones.
Is there?
Yeah, they've made a prequel that's set like 600 years before the original.
Yeah.
And it looks mad. It's called The House of Targaryen, I think.
Got to make some more money, don't they? So they run out of cash.
Game of Thrones, that will never stop making, I don't think.
Probably not until it really gets old.
Lord of the Rings comes out at the end of the year as well, which is meant to be one of the most expensive shows of all time.
Yeah, and you've got Avatar coming out.
Yep.
With Shazam the same week, apparently.
Oh.
When's Black Adam out? Is it
Black Adam's August, so yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Okay.
Next month.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Where's the real superhero movie? Super Pets.
Well, that's actually the next one. I'm pretty sure that's July.
Oh, okay. Because I want to see that. Now that I know Keanu Reeves is Batman, can't wait for that.
Whoa.
Oh, man. All right.
Cool.
That is an hour, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Sayan, thank you so much. I know we've talked about it before. I really appreciate you coming on. You're a very welcome guest and a welcome anytime you want to come back on a Monday live stream or for any other videos, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
no
It was a
doubt.
pleasure.
You're more than welcome. Mark, you say before we go.
No, just a fun fact. If you can hear me, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So the sport netball here, a lovely sport here in Australia. It's very big here in Australia for women, and we've got a really strong team. That was actually created by mistake, the sport. So what had happened, Canada, that created basketball, Canada of all places created basketball, somebody over the other side of Canada just goes, oh, draw me the plans for this new game, basketball. And so they did, and they sent it by mail and over there, and they just didn't read the instructions right. They didn't read to dribble the ball. They didn't read that it's supposed to have a backboard. And then all of a sudden they go, oh, yeah, we're playing basketball. And somebody went over there and going, this isn't basketball. And they go, oh, it's netball. So, yeah, apparently it was made by mistake because somebody didn't read the instructions right and just made it up.
Wow.
Wow. That's amazing trivia.
And it's an amazing sport as it is now in its own right. But, yeah, it's just crazy. Just somebody being lazy created their own sport.
That is hilarious.
Mm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget to like and also subscribe, and we will get to that 400 subscriber giveaway. We will see you Thursday for a great interview that we have coming up, actually, and next Monday for the next live chat. Thank you very much, and as always, AussieVerse is for life.